Well, do you remember, it was about 2016 or so, that Kizer was kicking out all the crazy titanium ones, titanium and S35ENs, blades, etc., etc. Even with the Megatherium by Isham, and then, of course, Matt Degnan and then, all kinds. Laconica was in on some of that early stuff. There were different people that were doing designs for Kizer. I think, didn't they have the Gunhammer? That was maybe a year or two later with Terzuola. Or no, Daryl Ralph, yeah. And so, just all kinds of things. But this is the Guru that is no longer titanium with S35. They have now brought this out I don't know that this is a whole lot more compact, but it's Micarta and it's 154 cm and it's in the Vanguard series. So, you can see the Guru and the Guru of old. You can just put in a Google search for the Guru, and Blade HQ usually keeps all their old stuff that you can go back and see. So it's a 3-inch blade. So this may be a bit smaller than the original Guru, but here it is. And this one is not a flipper or a front flipper. I'm sorry. Yeah, no sea creatures in this one. Flipper's gone home. And now we have to deal with it. I think we're emotionally mature enough to handle one that has thumb studs, ambidextrous thumb studs, and it has that famous, world famous, internationally acclaimed Kizer drop. I don't know. What are you people doing? See, I think they hired all the Keebler elves and they come through in the magic of nighttime and do this kind of shit. I don't know, but it's crazy, isn't it? Because all their knives drop like that. It's like they drop like there's a thing called gravity or something. I don't know. But, of course, maybe this needs darkened down, right? And then we could have a complete blackout. So you put the food grade mineral oil and everything turns really dark. And so you could do that if you wanted to. Or you could leave it like this, with a little bit of the kind of variant gray and black of the black micarta. And, talk about put some color in the picture. Ooh, we got number 8s. We got number 8 screws, and we don't have a lot of screws, do we? We got this, we got this. Any others? Pocket clip, that's it. Any others? Wow, that's amazing. So there's not much involved in there. So we're going to spin to win, my friends. So we don't have a real big knife, but we can measure it up and kind of tell you what she's doing here. It's supposed to be a 3-inch blade, so let's get her done. Come on, damn it, get over here. 3 inches right on cue. 3 1/4 back to the back of this area. So we got 2 5/8 cutting length. 7. See, it's not a 3 and a 7 because it's longer than 7. So 7 3/8, almost 7 1/2, coming up on 19 centimeters, right? So, and okay, so it's contoured micarta, 12.4, 0.49, so ½ inch. Okay, ½ inch. That's okay. That's in there. 0.12, so 3 millimeters. Okay, 3 millimeter blade stock, which makes sense, of course, for a knife like this. It's not a real big knife. It's got nested liners, steel liners. They're nested. You can't see them. They're during the mating season, so they are nesting right now. And 100 grams. So let's kick it over to ounces. Can we do that? will we go to ounces? Next one, okay, 3.5. Okay, 3.5. Not all that heavy, all right? And the old saying, will a knife be a knife? Well, will it? Okay. Just trying to feel the drag on the paper and kind of get an idea how it compares. I'd say this is a good factory edge. It's not scary sharp, but it's not on the negative either. It's just straight up what I would expect as a good factory edge. So it's okay. Ergos are fine too here because you have this. It's pretty straightforward. Although, you know, this comes up here. So this finger's kind of back behind in a support position. You can get right up on top of the blade. There's no jimping up there, however. But as you notice, you've got a big choil. Obviously, you can get up on this if you want. Now, in that case, all of them can go in the canoe, right? All your fingers, well, depends on how big your hands are, can get in there. And you can get up or like this, you know, this is also a good position. I mean, you know, there's a lot of different positions you take when you use a knife. Just depends on what you're doing, you know, what kind of media you're cutting and from what angle and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is, a flat grind. So, you know, and it's a sheep's foot type blade shape. So as far as, you know, being the piercing champion, no, but I mean, you got to attack it like this, right? But on the flip side of that, the fact that it's not a flipper, you know, you got a pretty good contact patch right here. So, I mean, and with 154 cm, you could actually use this for food prep, that kind of thing. So, okay, and just general cutting tasks. And of course, then it's also coated, so you know, that's another corrosion prevention thing. I've seen blackened blades that were, well, not necessarily 154 cm, but whatever, like D2 or something, and eventually get a little bit of corrosion spotting along that exposed edge, you know. But the good thing is it's not on here. So, I mean, that can be wiped off with a few strokes from a stone, strop, whatever. So that's not really a big area of concern. So it does protect the blade pretty well. But, you know, this is very flickable and really fidget friendly. So you have that. So, I mean, some of you guys probably bought that Degnan knife. Maybe some of you still have it. I don't. But I got this, so there you go. And, of course, it comes in a Vanguard-type box, which includes, you know, this kind of paperwork in here, which I don't much care for because it doesn't describe the knife itself. But then you get a little microfiber cloth in there, which I tend to never use, but it's nice that it's included. But one thing that I think is really important now, instead of their little fitted trays that their old school Vanguard used to come in, it's just an open tray now, but then they throw extra hardware in. So, I mean, that's the bonus for me. That was an intelligent move on their part. Probably kept a lot of service concerns from having to be filed, because if, you know, the Magilla gorillas sometimes that buy these knives, they'll go in, just leave a good man to screw up a perfectly fine knife, and they'll do it. So you know that they're going to go, and they'll give you a story. It may not be the real story, like I'm a screwball and I actually jacked something up and it's my fault. But you know, regardless, there's extra hardware. So now you've got, you know, if a screw falls out, I hear people, a screw just fell out. It's like, I can't tell you out of the thousands of knives I've handled that I've ever seen a screw fall out of the handle of a knife. I'm sorry. Or even off the pivot, okay? So I always kind of grimace and go, what were you doing? But much less the broken pocket clip stories I've heard. What are you doing? Really, seriously? But okay, it happens. So yeah, I'm glad they have the extra hardware in there. I think that probably is very helpful. Very helpful. But wow, this is, of course, right hand tip up only. Did you notice that? Yeah, deep carry too. And the little flat, what are they called? Screws that are tapered that are going in there, so they're flush. Whew, took me a while. Okay, but no, I like it. Ergos are fine, very fidget friendly. It's sharp out of the box. It's very inexpensive. I mean, there's a one-page clicker. I'll give you the information on Kizer knives, so you can go to the Kizer site and find this if it's out of stock at White Mountain or wherever you want to go. Obviously it'll be a general production item in their Vanguard series, but this one, the reason it's not in stock is because it says it's coming soon, okay? So it's a V3504C, whatever. But there's your specs, 7.44, but a 3-inch blade, etc., etc. Okay, so just saying, and like I'm saying, when it gets into White Mountain, you might, this would be a good place to buy it because LTK discount code, right? 10% off. So if you get $7.50 off, you're in the $60-something range, and they're not charging shipping or tax right now. So that would be the true cost to your door of the knife. So if you remember the Degnan Guru and you thought it was way cool, but back then it was kind of expensive because it was titanium and all that, and you want just a carry around user, then there you go. And the balance is good, ergos are good, reverse grip feels fine. I like their fit and finish. I think they do a good job. I think they're killing the Micarta thing a little much. I would really prefer to see them go back, or maybe to Richlight, or go to G10, to tell you the truth. Any other materials you guys would like? Because I think the Micarta is this is, that kind of very organic Micarta. And if you're going to do a Micarta, I wouldn't mind more of a polished type of Micarta. This one, something that almost resembles G10, because I worry about this soaks up everything, your skin oils, but any other kind of oil or whatever it comes in contact with. I don't see that as the best material for scales of a working knife, general carry knife, just in my opinion. So let's see, we got like 2 screws. This ought to be tough. We've got to unscrew 2 screws, maybe. And it sticks to the magnetic, because there is a magnet in here that's holding this bit in place. And can we break you loose? Yes, we can. Yes, and we did too. And there that goes. So I didn't have to undo the pocket clip, and that's good because I'm lazy. Now, we got a nested liner in here, and no specific skeletonized stuff going on in here, but this is your lock bar section. So, and of course you don't need a steel washer because you got a steel liner, etc., etc. There's your body screw. So complex, huh? Whoops, that, and then it's open. And then you can service however you want or clean, because you get your bearings here, and they're ceramic bearings. And then you've got a skeletonized liner on this side with the micarta, your blade stop here, your standoff there. It looks clean. It looks good. A little bit of lube in there. Other than that, not really much going on at all. Just to note, of course, we got a captured pivot here, right? You see the pivot, You see there's a little squared off area here. So, you know, but of course there's no ability to access anything here. So that's good. Now you'll be able to not have to worry about this spinning around when you're trying to unscrew the actual pivot screw. Back with the Guru. The Guru. Yeah, sure like it. It's a golden oldie, a golden oldie. Yes, as far as oldies go, in the golden age of knifery. We do love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.